Okay, we're moving on to, the Randy Duncan, Mr. Sim, Matt Smith, Paul Levitz, and I are working on collecting permissions for the 150 plus images in the third edition of Power of Comics. We would like to reuse two panels from Cerebus number 46 that we used in the previous edition. The permission form is attached. Please provide information for the sections in red, sign and date, and return to Duncan R at hsu.edu, period. If you include your mailing address on the form, you will receive a complimentary copy of the published book, which I made sure to do. I did sign the form. That's one of those things that is just a personal bugaboo for Dave Sim, that I've never sued anybody for using anything of Cerebus in a raw material for a creative work or for a work of scholarship, which this is. And anytime that somebody sends me a permission form and I sign it, I feel like I'm undercutting my own legal argument by signing this, because somebody's going to say, see, Dave Sim actually did believe that you have to sign these permission forms, so he didn't believe in Cerebus as an open source thing. And that's the rock and the hard place of, I don't want to prevent you from using something of mine that you think you need to use. But if the publisher that you're working for says we need signed permissions for anything that we use, then effectively that's what I'm doing by not signing the permission form. I'm hoping that that's evolving at this point, because I think we will get much better scholarship and we will get much more effectively produced works if you take it as a default setting that if you're using it for scholarship or you're using it as a raw material in another creative work, you don't have to ask somebody's permission to use it. I mean, the outfit is not that big. It's, where are they here? Bloomsbury Academic is the publishers, an academic division of Bloomsbury Publishing PLC. It sounds to me like it's a publisher that's just large enough to be able to afford to keep a lawyer on retainer or a couple of lawyers on retainer, and they're listening to their lawyers, and this is what their lawyers are telling them. And that seems at odds to me, again, with good, effective creativity and good, effective scholarship. At one time, I was the only person that thought that way, but I think the internet is driving us in a far more sensible direction. So hopefully I won't be getting these kind of permission forms too more often, because I don't think people do that anymore. I don't think people sue because somebody used something that they own. It's like there's people that ask permission, and there are people who just go, this is difficult enough to put together without having to get bogged down in all of these legalisms. I'm off of that team personally, and I'm over on the Dave Sim open source team. Generation by generation, I think it'll change. What do you think?
Well, when I got the email, my first response when I saw it was I was going to respond, Dave isn't going to sue. He believes as long as you're using service in another creative work, it's okay, it's approved, he doesn't need to sign anything, And then I thought, Paul Levitz, this is a guy that ran DC for how many years? He's going to be very much a cross T's, dotted I's, if you don't want to sign, then we're cutting you out of the book. And the 2 panels getting used that's 2 more panels of service that somebody that may or may not know service might see it. So it's kind of sort of an advertising thing. And I'm like, yeah, no, I need to send this to Dave. Just to, doing my due diligence as, hey, I got this in. This is something that Dave should look at. And then Eddie sent me an email of, oh, I already sent that to Dave. And I'm like, okay, well, he's getting 2 copies because,
right.
It's better to send it and go, oh, okay, we have 2, than not send it. And then the next thing you know, we're getting, frantic letters of the books at the printer. Could you please sign, the books at the binder, we really need a signature, and we have to pulp this book because you didn't sign.
Right.
I mean, I it's one of those, every time this kind of stuff comes up, and it's like, Dave's not going to sue you, he's okay with this, but I will let him know you asked, but I'm telling you that it's okay. This time I didn't do it, I'm like, I know, this looks more official than normal, and more official than normal means, let's just... now that we've talked, I will send Randy an email going, hey, Dave signed it. I'm sure he sent it back or fax, either fax to me or fax to them or whatever. It'll get there. But go ahead. Don't worry about Dave coming down from Canada, with pitchforks and torches ready to torch the place because you used 2 panels from an issue of Cerebus.
Actually, he had the address in the fax, so I actually sent it back by mail. It's like, what the heck? I'm the only person on the planet that signs these things and actually sends back the piece of paper with the signature on it.
The sad part is because you use the mail, they're not going to get it in time.
Yeah, well, no, the publication schedule was like January 2023 or something like that. Even the U.S. Postal Service, even at its worst, I think can get this to them. Through sleet or hail or storm or dark of night. Okay, that's I think as much time as we want to give that one. Which brings